Hey, how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. And today I want to do a little bit of another story time kind of video. I've done a few of these videos in the past and you guys really seem to enjoy it. You know, the whole tsundere maid cafe story and the whole time I was on Japanese TV and I wanted to fucking kill myself. But today I want to tell you guys another one of these kinds of anime related stories, or rather stories which are not only from my anime or like Japanese type pasts, but also memories which I want to repress for the rest of my life. One story I'll be telling you guys today from my university days has kind of cemented in the fact, as you can see in this video, about the fact that I fucking hate anime clubs. When I say anime clubs, I don't mean a bunch of otakus going into a nightclub and being like, yeah, I fucking love this Nightcore remix. I mean clubs as in like social clubs, like, you know, you have things like the chess club and like the sports club, and like in the same way we have the anime club. It was mostly, as the name should suggest, a bunch of otakus going in, sitting around, watching anime. Like, what the fuck else can we do exactly? So this happened about a few years ago, and it was weird because it was during the time that I was still doing YouTube, or I think it was probably close to the time where I had just started doing YouTube. It was like mid to late 2013. I had a friend of mine who was actually like a friend of mine who was in this anime club at the university that I was at. And you know, I just started this particular channel right here and I was like really getting into anime. I was like quite heavily into like starting to like review anime and look at anime in like a more analytical eye, which I have been trying to do over the past almost 4 years of this channel. But I also found that around like the area that I was living in Australia, there was also quite an absence of otakus. You know, I had a few otaku friends from like high school, and I had a few like online otaku friends and like otaku friends living here in Japan now, but I didn't really have any otaku friends in university. And so because I am considered to be known as an outsider in the otaku community in terms of my level of social skills, as most people in the otaku community stereotypically have the social skills of a fucking brick wall, I had absolutely no problem with going to these kinds of social events and meeting new people. Like, I had a lot of friends in high school and I had a lot of friends in the university I had just gone into, because as weird as it is for me to say, I think I'm pretty good at making friends. I mean, I've met and become quite friendly with a lot of really cool people here on YouTube as well, so it's just kind of nice to see that I kind of have this thing that otherwise doesn't really exist stereotypically in the otaku community, but I digress. Enough of me patting my back for showing that I possess social skills. So I got introduced to this anime club that this friend of a friend of mine was in. I eventually got to become friends with him just normally. And so I was like, what does an anime club do? Like, cause I wanted to know. And what he said was, oh yeah, dude, it's really cool. We have like movie nights and we like have like discussions and stuff. And then every now and then, like we might go on like a tour and like go to like some kind of like nearby anime store. It's just a bunch of cool otakus hanging out, man. And so because I again had very little otaku friends to kind of relay that kind of thing with, I was like, oh cool, I get to meet more people with the same love of anime and manga as I do. That's fucking awesome. And so the next upcoming event of the anime club, when I had joined the anime club, was a movie night. From my memory, it happened every other weekday, I think, and it happened during the night after all the classes had ended. And they would borrow this kind of auditorium where we would just sit down and watch anime. And so I'd never been in those kinds of like social situations before, like in like a mass movie night. So I'm like, cool, this might be interesting. I might actually be able to watch some anime or like, you know, talk to otakus about anime in a, you know, little bit more of a social sense. And having known that Australia, especially Sydney where I'm from, has, you know, quite a little bit of a multicultural like diversity in terms of the people living there, especially when it comes to Asian countries, I thought, cool, I can maybe find some like more Japanese like people and become friends with them, because for some reason I'm really good at making friends with Japanese people. Yeah, don't ask me why. So I finish up classes, my friend finished up classes, we meet up together and we go to this movie night. And we enter this little auditorium and the first thing I see is a row of about 30 chairs. Most of them have already been filled up because a bunch of people are already there. And out of the 25, maybe 26 people who are already sitting down, I very clearly recall there being around 22 of them looking and playing their 3DS. so social. Okay, like, I understand, you know, we're all otakus, you know, again, stereotypically, we don't have the best social skills, right? But it's like, if you're gonna come all the way to a movie night just to sit next to a random person before a movie comes on and just look down at your 3DS, what the fuck's the point? And it was really weird because the other like 3 or 4 people that didn't bring their 3DS with them were like chatting it up, except they were really fucking loud. So weirdly, outside of the room before I walked in, it sounded like all 30 people were just having a nice party chat. I don't think I've ever experienced 3 to 4 people making the same amount of noise as 30 to 40 people talking. And so immediately I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, again, I understand that some people may be a little bit socially awkward, but you're in a situation where every single person in that room likes the same shit as you. You guys don't join an anime and manga club because you don't like anime and manga. In the title of the club, there is clearly something that we all unanimously enjoy as a collective, so why is it still so hard to talk to people? I don't know, is it just me that kind of rages about this kind of stuff? Like, do I just not understand that kind of stuff because I can talk to people? But I digress, let's move on. So the president of the club just comes to the front and is like, welcome, you know, welcome to the movie night of blah 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 blah, thanks for everyone joining. By the way, the light was already dim at the time, but because everyone was on their 3DSs, they just had like this beam of light shot up on their face, so it looked like a fucking B-grade horror movie. My friend and I sat down at the front because that was the only place to sit, and I'm like, oh cool, front row seats, sweet. And they announced the 2 movies that we were going to watch that night. One of them was Revolutionary Girl Utena the movie, and the other one was the Satoshi Kon masterpiece Paprika. So immediately when I heard that, I was like, whoa, because I personally have never seen either of these 2 films, so it was really, really refreshing to me. Because, to be completely honest with you, I was half expecting to watch like a One Piece movie and maybe like a Naruto movie, honestly. Like something like that everybody who knows anime, or at least, you know, all the mainstream stuff would watch. But I was kind of shocked that none of those kinds of movies even came up in conversation, let alone it was 2 movies I'd never seen before and looked not exactly the most popular. So I was like, oh, maybe this giant 3DS loving crowd actually secretly has a, I don't want to say taste in anime, but like a knowledge in anime that surpasses the ordinary types of people that only watch like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, etc. Like, these people genuinely like anime, not just the big 4. Which is the type of people that honestly was a little bit easier for me to talk to. Not that I have a problem with talking to people who have only watched One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, or anything like that. Don't worry about that, guys. But you know, when you've watched a little bit more than the big 4, then it's a little bit easier to keep a conversation going, if you know what I mean. So we watched Revolutionary Girl Utena the movie. By the way, I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I did still enjoy it for what it was. I think it's because as well, I had never seen the original series before, so what I did after the movie night finished was I actually went home and watched the TV series, and then I watched the movie again. I was like, that makes more sense. And then after that, we watched Paprika, and I fucking love that movie. I was like, oh my god, this is like Inception, the movie, but somehow 50 times more imaginative. I also, again, watched that movie the next day because I just fucking loved it. But the other reason why I also rewatched both of those movies is because the entire fucking time that we are in that auditorium, everyone won't shut the fuck up. Imagine going onto YouTube and opening up 30 different tabs of 30 different Let's Players playing the same game, and then playing play all at once. That's what that room sounded like for 2 movie lengths. It was so loud, people were screaming. It's like, motherfucker, are you even watching the goddamn movie? Okay, I understand Revolutionary Girl Utena is like, if you haven't seen the TV series or you've never like even heard of this series before, I understand the movie was a little bit confusing. I later on found out after watching the TV series that the series itself is also quite confusing and quite meta, so that obviously didn't help either. But Paprika is self-explanatory. Like, yeah, sure, it's a little bit mind-bending like Inception, but if you are paying attention, it's not exactly a movie that completely loses you. Unless, of course, you have the same amount of brain cells that your 3DS has screens. Which was apparently everybody in that fucking room except for myself, and thank God, my friend who invited me to the club. Suffice it to say, he wasn't exactly the most pleased person in that room either. Because, much like me, he was trying to watch the fucking movie. And the shit that people were saying in that room during the movie was like the most nonsensical, dumb bullshit. They'd throw in some like really fucking outdated memes and then people would laugh, and it's just like really cringy like shit that like you would hear at like, you know, live stage performances at anime conventions. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, like, I hate to say it, but this isn't the anime club. This is a fucking weeaboo club. And then once the movie's finished, we inevitably got kicked out because apparently we were producing too much noise. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. Everybody else was producing too much noise, while myself and my friend were just trying to watch the goddamn movie. You know, the thing that we were all gathered here to do. I don't mind it if I'm watching a movie with you and every now and then you comment something about the movie, or, you know, you quietly talk to the person next to you if it's not exactly something that like catches your attention. Like, the one thing I couldn't fucking understand was that, okay, like, say for example, if you didn't quite understand Revolutionary Girl Utena, or Paprika wasn't exactly your thing, then why the fuck would you be screaming and talking loudly when there are other people trying to watch the movie? Let alone you brought your fucking 3DS. You were really quiet before the movie had started, not talking to anybody, in a position where you could have freely gone and talked loudly to people like all the people who didn't bring their 3DS were doing before. But no, when a movie starts and people are trying to concentrate and watching a movie that might interest them, instead of going quiet and playing on your 3DS like that would have been okay. No, instead you fucking start singing the last Nightcore remix you were listening to. Just seeing that just cemented that stereotype that all non-otaku people have, which is all otakus have terrible social skills. But apparently these fucking weebs also had just terrible lack of common fucking sense. And so, shockingly, I quit the anime club straight after that. I just went up to my friend and I'm like, dude, I cannot join in with these people. I mean, I'm sure they're lovely people if you get to know them, you know, during their own regular classes, but in that fucking setting, nah, I'd much rather just watch anime by myself. And honestly, to this day, I think that might be the reason as to why I do watch anime by myself, or I prefer to watch anime by myself. Maybe like me and another person, or like me and like 2 people, but any more than like 3 or 4 people at a time, I don't enjoy it at all. Especially if it's something I have never seen, and especially if it's something that holds my attention and I want to watch. And mind you, I didn't watch those 2 movies with the mindset that I was going to review it or I was going to analyze it or anything. Like, I wasn't deeply looking at it. I was literally just watching a movie that caught my attention and I wanted to watch to the end. No analysis, no review, I was just watching a movie. But apparently, these 3DS wielding weeaboo motherfuckers don't even let me do that. And so that's why I fucking hate anime clubs. Maybe I just got really unlucky and I just got a really fucking toxic anime club. So I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, what are your experiences with an anime club? If you were in an anime club in high school or college or university or maybe outside of school. What are your experiences with anime clubs? Do you enjoy your anime club? Do you not enjoy anime clubs? Why not? I like to know all those kinds of stuff in the comments below. And guys, if you enjoyed this little story time, then again, I've done a few more of those, so links in the description. And if you'd like to hear more, because I have a lot more different kinds of stories like that up my sleeves, then maybe leave a like on this video and let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for more anime banner, and I'll see you guys next video, whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Ciao! Oh, by the way, don't question the fact that I got a haircut and my hair re-dyed, because the next video you see is before I got my haircut, because organizational skills for the win.